Alright, so I would like to welcome all of you to our basic Bukku accounting training. I'm Nisha Ravi and I'll be the one conducting the session for today. Before we begin into the session, let us look into a brief introduction of what to expect for today. Today's session will be up to 1.5 hours. We will begin with a quick introduction about what is Bukku accounting, and then we will go through the basic Bukku accounting live demo. So this is the main part of the session. And next, we will also see on all of the other key features of Bukku accounting. And before we end the session, we also will have a quick Q&A session. So later, if you have any questions, you can just drop the questions in the chat box. So at the end of the session, we'll be going through it together. All right. So now let's look into a quick introduction of Bukku accounting. Perhaps some of you are not familiar with Bukku yet. So basically, Bukku accounting is a cloud accounting software tailored for Malaysian SMEs. We actually established in 2019. So basically, it's a 6-year-old company, and we are also 100% Malaysian owned, meaning to say you can expect those local regulations such as the SST and e-invoicing and all to be ready in Bukku and updated from time to time. As well as we are the fastest growing accounting software in Malaysia, trusted by over 40,000 SMEs. We are also backed by 250 over professional accounting firms. So basically, they are our client as well as our partners in Bukku. Bukku is developed by a highly experienced team with 20 over years in SME software solutions. And also, Bukku is a cloud-based software, meaning to say there is no any installation required. As long as you have an internet connection, you can access a Bukku account anywhere from any device. We also have an open API ready to integrate with any third-party applications. And basically in Bukku, we are looking to solve three primary problems, which is the accounting, invoicing, and also the inventory. All right, so basically that's all about a quick background about Bukku. Now let's look into the main session, which is the live demo. Allow me to share my screen. I will be changing to the screen of the software. Okay, so basically this is the Bukku software that you will see. Maybe some of you are new users and some of you are already been using Bukku accounting. So basically every time you sign up a new account or every time you log into your account, basically this is the first page that you'll be able to see. Okay, this is known as the dashboard. So before we go through of the basic setup of your Bukku account, maybe I will just run through on the interface first so that you are quite familiar with what is being seen here. Okay, at this left-hand side, you can see this blue main menu. So this is where we group all the transactions into modules and you can create transactions here. So we are focused on using layman terms so that it's simple for everyone to use. For example, sales transactions here. In case you want to record any transaction related to sales, you can find it under the sales module. All right, and also bottom here, you'll be able to see a live chat support button. So when you click on this support button, right, you'll be able to see this page. So basically, this is our official support channel in which our live agents are available to you, assist you as required. So in case you need any guidance or facing any issues, right, you can feel free to send us a message over here and our team will be assisting you in a live basis. So basically within 5 to 15 minutes, yeah. And also we have a collection of articles which you can access from the help option over here, and you can also search via keywords. For example, let's say you are unsure of how to issue an invoice, right? You can just search invoice and then all the related article guides will appear. All right, so that's all for this live chat. Okay, on top of here, you'll be able to see word training beside the Bukku logo, right? Okay, basically this is known as your Bukku URL. Okay, this is your unique URL and each account has its own URL. You can see here training.bukku. So basically when you click on this, right, this is where it will be same as what is shown in your browser address as what I shown just now, as well as this is where you can actually create more account, meaning to say, let's say you have like a second company, you would like to create a Bukku account, right? Because each Bukku account is for one company. So for my example, you can see I have like 5 companies under my account. So let's say you already sign up to Bukku you are using and then you want to create another new Bukku account for your second company. You can click on new company over here and this page will appear. So this is where you can key in your new company name and then you can key in a unique URL over here. Make sure it's not repetitive from existing one. And once done, you can click on start free trial. So basically that particular new account will also receive 30 days free trial as well. All right. So over here, right, I just want to highlight that in case you already save all your multiple companies, you can actually switch from one company to another over here. So you can either open a new tab or you can just click here to go to the URL. So you don't have to log in and log out multiple times between your multiple Bukku account. All right. So that's all for the left hand side, right? So just a quick review on the right hand side. Basically, this first icon is known as you can see it's like a rocket looking icon, right? So this is the getting started with Bukku. So this is appearing here for the first 30 days, meaning to say during your free trial period. It shows you a list of guide on what are the steps to be done when you want to set up your Bukku account. So we will be going through into each of these steps shortly. So I'll get back to this later. Also here you can see there is like a plus icon, right? So basically this is the shortcut to create a new transaction. So when you click on this, you can select the type of transaction and the system will directly open a new page for you to record the details. So you don't have to go via these modules lah. You can just directly have the shortcut over here. Also, we have the global search icon here. This actually allows you to quickly find your transactions or navigate to a specific page. We also provide examples on how to use it over here so you can follow along easily. Yeah. And okay, beside that, you're also able to see like a bell icon, right? So this is actually known as the notification. So this is where the notifications are received in real time basis, right? Here you can see like 7 days ago, 11 days ago, there is some notifications here. And later I will show you how does it work when you are using the payment gateway and there is a notification about the payment received from customer. All right, so later we will look into an actual scenario to see how the real time notification is being received. Okay, at the end here, you're able to see the user menu. Basically, this is where you can customize your login details. You can click on this, and then if you click on my profile, you'll be able to change your email and your name and all this, your phone number. And also here you can change your password and you can also select we have like three main languages over here. So you can select which language you prefer to have the interface in, and also you can log out. All right, so that's all for basically the right and left side interface. Now let's look into the main part, which is setting up your Bukku account. Let's say you are a new user and you have already newly signed up your Bukku account, right? You wonder what are the steps you need to do, how to start with Bukku. Okay, so now that's what we are going to look into right now. When you click on this, the first step is about updating your company profile. So you can click on this first step and it will actually bring you to your control panel company profile page. So over here, there are two reasons why you need to enter your company details here. The first one is related to e-invoicing, meaning to say here you can see the yellow markers and green markers, right? So these are the e-invoice indicators. Letting you know which are the details that is compulsory for e-invoicing purpose. But then in this training, I won't be covering the topic on e-invoicing. So in case you are interested to know more about the e-invoice features in Bukku, right, you can reach out to our support team over here and they will actually share you the link for the registration for the e-invoicing because we have a separate training for it. All right. Okay, coming back to here, as I mentioned, there is two reasons, right? The first one is e-invoicing, and the second reason is whatever data you key in here for your company profile is what going to appear on your letterhead later. Meaning to say like you issue an invoice or payment voucher, right? So these are the details that will appear in the letterhead of the documents, okay? So across all the modules in Bukku, right, all those data that has this asterisk star marks are considered compulsory. So as long as you fill in this minimum star marked fields, then you will be able to save your data over here. Okay, so for example, company profile, you need to key in your legal name, you need to key in your friendly name, your registration number of your company, the type and also the number. And bottom here, you can see the address is required. So you have to save at least one address. And also, this is optional. You can also upload your company logo over here. So once everything is fine, make sure to click on the save button. So any changes or any transactions you do, make sure to scroll down and record and click on the save so that it ensures that everything recorded has been saved. Okay. So next, let's go to the second step, which is related to your contacts. All right. So basically in Bukku, contacts is referring to your customers, suppliers and employees. So when you create a new transaction later, it's easier for you to select the contact which is already saved here so that all the information will auto pop up. So later I will show you how it looks like. Okay, now let's look into one particular sample. Let's say I'm creating a new customer over here. I'm clicking on new and then a new contact page appears. Okay, here as usual, you need to select the details for the asterisk marks, right? So let's say I'm going to create a contact. For sample, I'm going to create an individual contact. Let's say the name is Amy. So I'm going to scroll down The other details is not compulsory. Okay, here you can see the type is compulsory. So let's say Amy is my customer and also my supplier. So I'll be ticking both of it. So you don't have to create the contact twice. All right. So just once is sufficient. You can just click both if it's relevant. Okay. The other details will be auto filling up for you. So you need not to worry about it. So once all is done, you can click on save and you can see that the system will say the contact is created. So when you scroll down, you'll be able to see the name over here. And then in case you feel that, okay, let's say you feel that, oh, I wrongly created, I don't need this contact. All right. So what you can do is you can over your mouse over here and then you can select to delete the contact. All right. So this is how you can actually create and delete a contact if it's not required. Okay, now let's say in another scenario, you already created the contact, but then you just have some errors there. So you want to update some details. Okay, what you can do is, let's say we are taking the sample of beta marketing, right? Let's say I'm viewing this contact here and then all the details are okay, but then I wish to change only the email address. Okay, so now here I have a temporary email address with me. So I'm going to copy this and let's say I'm going to update the email address of beta marketing. So I'll paste this new address over here and then everything else is fine. So I'm going to click on save. Okay, once I save, you can see it will say the contact is updated lah. So the new details will be updated in the beta marketing. So this is how you can edit an information. But later I will show you how does the updated email helps you. All right. So now apart from this contact, there is also an option for contact group. Okay, contact group is basically, let's say you want to create few groups, right? Let's say you are having a rental business, so you have like many units and many tenants and all that. So maybe you can group your tenants accordingly. So here you can see there is a sample, right? So I have created Adang 18 tenant group, and then I just select which are the contacts that I wish to place under the grouping. All right, so this is the grouping part. So apart from that, I want to let you all know about the SOA, statement of account. I'm sure most of you are quite familiar with what statement of account is, but let me just look into one sample of beta marketing, right? I just click on this statement and system will show me the statement of account over here. Okay, basically a statement of account is a summary of all transactions of a customer or supplier over a specific period. It actually includes details like the invoices and then the payments and also the outstanding balance for the specific period that you selected lah. All right. So here you can see you can actually filter according to your requirement, like you can set the date range and all. Okay, I will show you how to share or generate this particular SOA. For example, here you can actually I will just want to share that you can get familiar with this icon because it will be in almost all of the modules. Yeah, the first one is quick share. Basically, quick share is about sharing the document. You can either share via email, so or link. Let's say I click to share via email, it will appear like this for me to select the filters, and then you can see the new email updated here. Just now I updated beta marketing's email, right? So it auto appears here. So if everything is good, you can click on send, or you can also share it via a link. So basically a link will be generated in the system, and this link you can share it via WhatsApp or you can copy and also paste it as required, okay, to share with your customers. Because statement of account usually you share to follow up for your outstanding payment and all this, right? So you need to check with your customer like how much they owe you and all. Okay, so if you would just want to generate, you can either generate export to PDF or you can also export to Excel over here. Okay, so that's all for the second step. Now let's look into the third step, which is about your products. All right. Basically, your products is this is actually both products and services. Okay. So here you can, let's say you have items that you regularly sell or purchase and or a service that you regularly give to your customers and all right. So this is where you can save it. All right. Let us look into one particular sample of a service and also a product. Yeah. The same. You just have to click on new over here to come to a new product page, and here you can key in the name. Let's say I'm going to key in a new item. I'm going to add a calculator, and then the other details are optional. Okay, this is important in case you are trying to record an item that is your inventory, meaning to say you are buying and selling the item and you want the system to track the inventory movement for you. Like you want the system to let you know how much was sold, how many items was purchased for this particular inventory. So you need to make sure that you turn on this track inventory option. So once this is turned on, system will auto turn on the I'm selling and I'm buying option. Because if you want to track the inventory, basically the concept is you are buying and you are selling it. Okay. So over here, once you turn this on, you can see that the inventory account and the income account are all auto selected, so you don't need to worry about it. So here you can just set your like a default basis pricing. Let's say I'm selling, my calculator is 100 ringgit. And then, but no worries, later in the invoice, you can still amend the price when you do the invoice and purchase bill and all that. Okay, this is just like a basis for the system to save it. Okay, so here the sales price is 100, and let's say the buying price, I'm going to put maybe 70. So scroll down, and here you can see there is a unit of measurement, right? Okay, here I just want to highlight, in case you have more than one UOM, you can actually turn on this multiple. So basically I sell in by per unit basis, but maybe I also sell by boxes. So what I can do is I can turn this on. So you can see one unit, this is the pricing, right? Maybe this is the default. I always sell, most of it I sell in this unit, but I also sell it in boxes, right? So here you can see box is like, let's say one box got 10 units. So I will save it 10, and the pricing maybe per box I sell it a bit cheaper. Maybe I just sell it for 900 instead of 1000, right? So here 900, and also the purchase price is maybe consistent lah. So 70 per unit. So for one box, 10 units, I sell it for 700. I mean, I purchase it for 700. So once this is done, you can actually save. Okay, so this is how you can add your multiple UOM for a product. So here you can see the product is created. So when you scroll down, you're able to see the item here, or you can also search the item over here and it will appear. All right, so this is how you can do. And also same as just now, in case this is not required, you don't need this item, you can actually delete the item if it's not required. Okay, so this is how you can create and delete as well. Okay, another sample scenario, right? Let's say I'm talking about the item, for example, right? A product. Okay, let's look into this one product. Okay, let's say this water bottle pink, right? This is a product, and you see under the quantity column, you will be able to see the quantity that's available, which is 280. So when you click your mouse in the mini arrow here, it will show you how many quantity is there in each of the locations. This is because Bukku support multi-location for your inventory purpose. So you have handling your inventories in few locations, right? So this is where you can actually track your inventory in each of the locations. All right. Now let's look into a sample of a service. Let's say this website design service, right? When I view this, you can see I have created this service, and then I don't turn on the track inventory because this is not an item for me to track the movement in and out. It's a service that I provide, so I don't track it. All right, so I just turn on I'm selling. I'm selling as in like I'm providing the service. So I key in the pricing and I save. Okay, so when I go back to this particular page, you can see that over here the quantity column is showing dash because there is no any quantity to be shown. It's not an inventory. All right. So basically, this is how you can handle your inventory and non-inventory item. Okay. Now next, let's look into the fourth step, which is the chart of account. Okay. This is basically getting into the accounting part lah. Because probably those that are in the accounting field and all that, maybe you all are quite familiar with chart of account. But no worries. I'll just give a brief explanation of what chart of account means. Yeah. Okay, basically, chart of account is a list of all the financial accounts used by a business to record their transactions. It's actually categorized as asset, liability, equity, income, and expenses. Okay, the purpose is to help you organize and manage your financial data for the reporting purposes. For example, right, let's say I have expense over here. Okay, I have electricity expense over here, so I have a separate account for it inside my chart of account, right? So every time I spend for electricity, I will do the recording to this account code, and then at the end of the period, I able to generate a report, a PNL, a profit or loss statement, to see how much I have spent for electricity for the year. So basically that's the purpose of breaking down the account in your chart of account. All right. Okay, so here by default, when you have your Bukku account, right, system already provide you a list of account. So it's like a default account code and account names. So that's just a suggestion. So in case you feel that it's not relevant to you, right? Because in this particular step, it's important for you to set the chart of account to suit your business. So those account listed here, make sure it's relevant to your business lah. Okay, what if suddenly you notice that, okay, this donation, you want it to be here, but then you want to you want to rename it. So you can just click on view, and over here, maybe you want to have it as in donations and charity income, for example, right? So you can just edit here and save. You want to change the account code also can. So this is how you can do so. But in case, let's say you don't need an account here, for example, you don't need the shipping fee, you can just delete or deactivate accordingly as required. Okay. So in case you have an account in your particular business nature, but then the account is not listed here, you can actually click on the new icon here and you can create a new icon. The system type is optional. You can select only if it's relevant, or else you can remain it blank. So the other asterisk marks like the type, classification and all need to select. When you select the type, the classification is auto-filling, so no need to worry about it. So the account code is also auto-generated. If you want to key in also can. So then the name is over here. So this is how you can create a new account. Alright. So basically in this step, make sure that you set up this list of account based on your requirement, your business nature. Alright. So in case you have so many data to bring in, right, you don't need to do one by one. You can also import the account. So there is an import function over here. This function is available in almost most of the modules in Bukku lah. So meaning to say you can download a template file like an Excel file from Bukku system. You fill up and then you can click to upload. Alright. So this is available in most of the modules. Alright. Okay. So that's all for the chart of account. Once you feel your chart of account is good, it's actually suitable for your business nature, you can go to the next step, which is the opening balance step. Okay, this step I would like to get all of your attentions because this particular opening balance step is not relevant to everyone. It's actually related only to those who have previous year accounts. Meaning to say, let's say you are a new company, you are a new business, you just incorporated in 2025, and then once you started your business, you are already wanting to use Bukku. So you don't have a previous year accounts in another system or Excel or whatsoever, right? So for those new companies, you don't have to do the opening balance step because you don't have another previous year account. So you can skip this step. But this step is required for those business who has a previous year accounts. Let's say for my business, I started in maybe 2003 and then I have my latest accounts done in another system up to 31st December 2024. So my financial year end every year is December 2024 for last year lah. So for my company, I will need to key in the date here as in my previous financial year end, and then I will refer to my trial balance from my the other system from my previous system to key in the data here because trial balance will have the debit and credit for this particular date. Okay, because I want to start to use Bukku from 1st January 2025. So that is where I will bring in my closing balance for the previous year. Okay, so I key in here and then scroll down, I key in all the debit and credit. You can see, for example, my accounts receivable, I key in 500. My inventory, meaning to say my unsold inventory as of this date is 1000 and so on. So once I key in all this, right, so you can see the debit and credit is tally. You can click on continue to save this particular page and system will bring you to the next page. So basically system will request you what is the breakdown for the 1000 that you have keyed in. Alright, because just now I mentioned that I have a 1000 inventory, but then I need to let the system know what are the inventory breakdown. So remember just now we have saved the products and all of that, right? So that is why it's helpful here. So that's why it's important to follow the flow and the steps. So now you can see I can just select the items and then I can select how much is still there in my previous account. So here, for example, you can see I have chocolate bars and water bottle pink. So these two items is total of 1000. So once this is tally, I can click on continue and system brings me to the third step, which is the outstanding invoices. Meaning, remember previously in my opening balance, the first step, I key in my account receivable is 500. So I need to let my system know who's the 500 ringgit that owe me, which are the customers and which invoices it's related to, because these are data from my previous software. So I need to bring in the proper data into this Bukku software so that the system knows which are the customers owing you how much and for which invoices. So that in current year in 2025, when I receive the payment from customer, it's easier for me to record and knock off against the relevant invoices. So here I have few breakdown. So you can see the total is 500. So it's tally. I can click on continue. The fourth step is also similar. It's about the outstanding bill, meaning to say you have your accounts payable, right? So you have to list down which are the suppliers that you owe. So these are the reasons why you need to set up your products and your contacts previously so that it's easy over here. Okay, so once this is done, you can click on continue and system will show opening balance is updated. So now basically you already bring in all the previous year closing balance data into the system. All right, so you can see the figures will be running over here. Okay, so now that's all for the opening balance and all. So now let's go into more towards the settings part. Yeah, so this is basically the last step, which is the company settings. So the company settings is under the control panel. So there is a lot of settings that you can explore and you can set according to your requirement. Okay, so I will go through the most important ones so that we can zoom into the priority first. The rest I actually leave it to you all to explore further. All right. So the first one I want to highlight is regarding the my invoice submission. So for those who already start to I mean, like you are required to comply with e-invoice, then you can turn this on only when you need to submit it lah. So otherwise you can just remain this off. So let's say in my scenario I remain this on because I'm complying with the e-invoice and all right. So scrolling down here, you can see you can set your financial year end. So my financial year end was December. Remember just now I updated my opening balance for the closing 31st December 2024. So here this is where you can set your month, year, ending month. All right. So scrolling down, there is also one thing I want to highlight, which is regarding the log accounting period. Okay, let's say you already use Bukku for like past 2 years and all, and then you want to make sure that your previous accounts are not messed up, right? So you can actually select to lock your accounting period up to certain date. Let's say, okay, you have already done the audit for December 2024 in Bukku system. So you want to lock this account as of this date, and then you can enter your passcode. Okay, it's basically it's saying that nobody will be able to bypass or do any transaction for this particular period so that it's not messed up. The figures are in proper place and all. All right. So this is how you can use the lock period option. And next, I would like to go to the next section, which is regarding the tax. All right. So basically, for those who have SST, right? Let's say your company is SST registered, you can actually go to this tax part and then you activate the tax with your particular tax ID. Once you already set up, you can save, and later you'll be able to see how you can select the invoices in the particular section. Meaning to say later, once you issue an invoice, right, you will be able to select the SST rate available in the Bukku system so that you can comply with your SST requirements. Okay, next is regarding the remarks. Okay, remarks are actually quite familiar, like quite popular because usually when you issue a quotation or maybe you issue an invoice, right, it's quite common that you want to insert your bank details into the invoices, right? So it's actually quite troublesome if you need to insert manually into every single invoices, which is why we actually have this default remarks. So when you come to this particular page, right, you can set your default remarks over here and it will auto appear in all new invoices that you issue. All right. So next is later I will show you how this remarks appears lah in an invoice. All right. Okay. Next is signature. Okay, basically in signature, right, here we have like 6 signatures you can set up. You can set up to 6. And then once you're done setting up this, you will be able to make sure you actually assign the relevant signature to the documents accordingly. Like which signature setup you want it to appear in which document. Alright, so in case you have like digital signature token, you can upload here lah. But right now it's actually loading. But then if you have a digital signature, you can upload here. If you want to manually print the document and then sign, then you can remain the digital signature blank. Alright, so a line will be there for you to sign. So later I will show you as well how it looks in the invoice. Also, just a remark here that make sure any transaction or any details you amend, make sure you click on the save button over here. Alright. Okay, so next is the payment gateway. Okay, payment gateway is basically currently we have like 3 service providers. So in case you are using any one of these service providers service, right, you will be able to activate it in Bukku. So you can link your payment gateway account in Bukku and your invoices later will have a QR for your customers to actually scan or make payment directly to your bank account, which will be auto recorded in system. So this one I can just take a note. I will get back to this later regarding how the payment gateway affects your transactions and the recordings. All right, so yeah, we will look into it later. And the final one is invoice reminder. Okay, maybe some of you are quite familiar. You need to like follow up from your customer regarding the outstanding invoices or the coming due invoices and all that, follow up for the payment. So it's actually quite time consuming if you need to like manually check which is the unpaid and then you need to manually follow up. So what you can do is you can just set up here to actually, you can set up according to your requirement lah. So let's say I want to send overdue reminder to my customer. So here is the setup. Let's say I want to send out 3 days after overdue or 7 7 days after overdue. So once I set this up and click on save, the system will email to customers that have overdue invoices. It will send a standard message and also mention that they have overdue. All right, so that's the settings part, right? So since we are in the settings page, I just have a few more to cover under the settings before we get into the actual transaction part lah. All right, okay, so here I have to explain about the payment term, just a quick one. Basically, payment term allows you to customize the condition of a transaction, like the due date or the payment schedule and all. Okay, so here you can see we already have a default list of payment terms that is suggested, and the meaning is also here. But then if it's not required, you can delete and all. And if you need to create new one, you can always click on new. You can create net how many days and all this, and then you can select the values like in days or maybe in month and how. Okay, so these settings I leave it to y'all. Can feel free to explore. Next would be payment methods. All right, for payment methods, right, basically it refers to the way a payment is made or received, basically like cash, credit card, bank transfer, online payment, e-wallet, this kind of methods. So here also same, we have a list suggested. You can always view and edit if required, or you can also create new lah. So for example, here you can see for bank transfer method, I have a default code which is my public bank. So later you will see how does this one appear in the invoice when I record a payment. Okay, so this one also we will look into the transaction later. Okay, next would be, I would like to also talk about the number format. Okay, let's say you are using another system previously, or maybe now you are using Bukku, but then you want to have your specific number format and all, right? So this is where you can set your number format lah. Okay, by default system will have this number format. I think maybe some of you are already familiar with this lah. By default system uses this number format. You can always create new number format. For example, you can see here I have created a new number format for my invoice based on the placeholder. So these are the placeholder we have. So year, month, date, and all this. So when you follow this setup, you should not key in the actual numbers here. You just need to do the format based on this placeholders and all. So later when you issue an invoice, the format will be there. So once the invoice is saved, the numbers will appear and will auto run by the system. Okay. Alright, so this is about the custom number format, and another one is about the form design. Okay, form design is maybe most of you most interested lah, because this is about customizing your template. Okay, for example, here you can see we have 2 or 3 options. You can always create new, or you can also duplicate the existing. So this is where you can actually customize up to certain level for the type of template you want, and then the color, the font, and also all these setups, right? So I leave it to you all to explore further. You can actually go through this particular setup according to your requirement. And next will be regarding the users. Okay, in Bukku, you can have unlimited users for an account. So you can even add all your staff, all the person in charge accordingly. So when you want to invite a new staff to use your Bukku account, you can click on this invite option. And then you can key in their name and email address, right? So you can either choose user or administrator. So let's say they are a staff who is actually handling only a certain part, right? So you can give them a user access lah. But then if they are a main staff, or maybe they are partner of the company and all, you can give them an admin access. Admin, basically they have entire access, same as the owner of the Bukku account. Alright, so this one you can select accordingly, and the bottom one is optional. If you want to give the special rights, you can tick accordingly. So the meaning is stated here. Yeah, you can go through. For example, let's say I'm selecting a user. I want to add my one staff as user, right? So you can scroll down and you can click on manage permission. Over here, you can decide which modules you want to give access to. Let's say they are maybe a salesperson. So I want to give access only to issuing quotation. So you can tick only on quotation. But if they are a person who handles the payment and all the entire sales process, right? So you can tick the sales module, and all the sub modules under the sales will be given access as well. So you can untick and tick as required. All right. Same goes to other modules. Okay, another thing is here you can see that there is like 3 boxes, right? If you want them to only access their own transaction, meaning to say the transactions that they have created, maybe you have like few salesperson, so you don't want salesperson A to see salesperson B's invoice. So what you can do is you can click on view and manage own transactions only. But if you want them to issue only draft, maybe you want them to issue only draft, not actual final document, right? You can tick on second box, or maybe you want them to issue draft and also a pending approval status, so you can tick on these two. right? So you can tick accordingly. As for this L1, L2, L3, L4, right? L1 is basically you're giving access to the module to only read. So they can't do anything. They only can see the sales module. They can only read. If L2, they can create new invoices only. I mean, they can create any documents under the sales lah. Okay. If create and update is basically they can create or they can also edit it later if required. Okay. If full access basically means that they can create, edit, void, and also delete. So full access is given to this module. Okay. So this is how it's actually assigned for the users. And the last one will be billing and subscription. Okay, so for all of you, probably some of you are subscribed and some of you are under the free trial, right? So for those under the free trial and all, actually every one of you can see that this is where all the details of your subscription or free trial can be seen. The quota also can be seen here. So for those under free trial, if you would like to subscribe, you can actually click on this subscribe icon and then you can select the particular plan and also any add-ons if required lah. Okay, so when you scroll down, you can add the add-on as well. Okay, so if you're already done, then you can see your invoices appearing in the past invoice for the subscription you have paid for. All right. Okay, so that's all for the settings and all. Now let's look into the main part, which is the transaction itself, because we have been talking about how to do this, how to do that, and all this setup, right? Now let's look into the actual real life scenario. For example, the most common one is a quotation. So whenever you want to do sales, you will usually begin with a quotation, right? So here, let's say I'm going to issue a new quotation. I'm going to click on new over here. But before I proceed, I'll just show a quick run through of how it looks in a transaction module. All right, so this is a transaction module, right? Because just now we were talking about all the setups. So this is an actual transaction module. So you can see it's slightly different than just now. So across all the transactions module, you'll be able to see this kind of filters, date range, customer, and all this. And you can see a list of quotations. Since we are on the quotation page, you can see a list of quotation. And at this right top hand side, you can see a new button. Okay, so now when I click on a new button, right, it will bring me to a new quotation page. So now let's see, I'm going to create a quotation for my beta marketing sample just now. So once I select beta marketing, right, you can see all this other information is auto popping up because I already saved the contact details in my contacts module before this. Okay, so that's why it actually saves time when you save the contacts previously. So all the details is appearing on its own. So you can scroll down and then you can select the item over here. Let's say I'm going to select the water bottle, right? Okay, I'm going to select water bottle here, and you can see that here you can click on the quantity, you can click on the unit, you can select accordingly. So if it's a box, or doesn't remember just now we said multiple unit of measurement, UOM. So this is where you can actually select accordingly. So let's say one unit is 25 ringgit. Let's say I want to sell a box. You can see the price is updated automatically. All right. So here you can also select the location. So you can select the item is being sold from which location. All right. So for this particular example, I'm going to select my HQ. So now let's say I'm going to select 2 units. Yeah, I'm going to sell in 2 units. Okay. So once 2 units here, you can also see the amount is auto calculated by system. And here you can key in the discount if applicable, or you can also select the text. Remember just now I said the SST and all. So this is where you can actually select the text rate and all. Okay, if it's not relevant, you can remain it blank. Okay, so once everything is done, 50 ringgit, and also I can scroll down, and this is where the remark appears. You remember just now we were setting the default remarks, right, to auto appear in a new transaction. So you see here, once I create a new transaction, the remarks auto appearing. Okay, so now everything is fine. Once it's good, I'm going to save this particular quotation. All right, once I save this quotation, right, I share with my customer, and let's say my customer says, okay, everything is good, right? They want to make payment. So what I can do is I can immediately transfer this quotation to an invoice, meaning to say I don't need to manually key in an invoice all over again because there is many data I need to key in, right? So what I can do is I can just select to transfer this quotation to invoice, and the invoice will be issued over here. It won't be issued, actually it will show you in a page. So is everything okay, then you can save it to issue. So here you can see there is credit sales and cash sales, right? Just a quick intro of what these two basically means. Yeah, so basically Cash sales is you are making the sales today and they have paid you. So it's like on the spot sales, regardless of they pay you whether in QR, bank transfer, or touch and go and all this, right? It's still considered cash sales as long as they paid you on the spot on the same day. But in case it's in credit terms, meaning to say you issue invoice today, you made a sale today, but then they will be paying you maybe tomorrow or maybe next week or something like that. So it's a credit term sale. So that's why it's credit sales, yeah. So now I'm going to leave it as credit sales. So I'm going to scroll down. You can see all this information is auto by system. So there is nothing you need to actually fill in. So all these contact details and then this product details and all is auto. So here you can see if everything is good, you can actually scroll down and here you can see the payment term appears. So once you issue an invoice, right, you can see this is where the payment term I was talking about just now. So you see there is a list of payment term. You can select, let's say I'm going to select like now, let's say it's net 30, right? So the due is 18 September based on the invoice date. So it will select 30 days based on my settings lah. So now let's say you'd feel that you don't want any term, but then you want to select a random due date. Maybe customer say, okay, I will pay you end of this month. So you can just manually click on 30 August lah. Alright, 31st August. So this is how you can do if you don't need the payment term, you just want the due date. But if you want to select also, you can. So now let's say for my example, net 14. So this is the new due date. Alright, so here the amount will take 100%. Like if you have more payment term, you can click on add term and then you can do another line if it's applicable. Okay, so now here everything is fine. You can see invoice also the remarks appears. So I will scroll down and I'm going to save this invoice. Okay, so once I save, you can see that it will show the invoice is created. Okay, so it's very easy. You just copy the quotation, transfer it to the invoice and then you can save it. Okay, now let's say in this scenario, I've issued my customer for 2 quantity, right? So when I share this invoice to customer, let's say my customer say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't need two water bottles. I just need only one. So what you can do is right now, you don't want to amend the invoice since it's given to customer, right? So what you can do is you can select to actually transfer this particular invoice details. You just copy to credit note. You just click on this copy to credit note and system will actually copy the entire details of this particular outstanding invoice. Okay, to issue a credit note, it should be an outstanding invoice lah. So now this credit note is issued with all this detail over here. You can scroll down, you can see this the water bottle, but then you want to issue a credit note only for 1 unit lah, because just now you issued them for 2 unit. Now you want to reduce it by 1 unit. So you just select the credit note for 1 unit. So everything is good. You can scroll down and make sure you tick the relevant invoice because this is the invoice 50 ringgit issued just now. You want to reduce it by 25 ringgit, meaning reduce it by 1 bottle. So if everything is fine, you can click on save. And system will show you now, for example, this is the credit note revenue. Go back to the invoice page. You can see the system will show you there is outstanding of 25 ringgit because 50 ringgit is the invoice. But then when you view the invoice, you can see that 25 ringgit is deducted via the credit note. Okay, so that is why customer owe you only a 25 ringgit. Okay, so now customer already agreed to make a payment. So they do a manual bank transfer and then they send you the slip. Okay, once they send you the slip, what you can do is you can just view the invoice here. You can click on add payment. So once you click on add payment, right, system will bring you to a new payment page where all the details are as usual copied by the system already. You can just scroll down. You can see the invoice number will be in the reference. So it's already, you already know this OR is related to which invoice lah. So you can scroll down and this is where you record your payment details about how much was received. For example, let's say now the deposit to account is showing cash and on red. Let's say they transfer me via bank transfer. You can see automatic the deposit to change to public bank. So remember just now we were talking about the payment method and the default deposit linked to it. So this is how it works lah. So you select the method and then the deposit to account will auto update. So the amount is 25 ringgit they pay me and then it's actually applied. Make sure you tick the relevant invoice it's paid for. So everything is fine. When you scroll down and save, you can see that the official receipt is created. Okay, so this payment is actually known as the official receipt lah. So this is a manual process. You can see that I manually created and saving this, right? So when you scroll down, you can see this is how it looks like. You can click on print PDF and it will show how the official receipt looks like. So this is the receipt that you can manually share to your customer because they made payment for this invoice and there is no any balance. Okay, so this is how a sample official receipt looks. But then this is actually a manual process. Remember, they pay you and then you manually record the payment. So in another scenario, I'm going to show how does the system help you to auto record the transaction. For example, right, we had an invoice just now. Let's say I'm going to duplicate. Okay, we have a function to duplicate an invoice to a new invoice. So I'm going to click on this duplicate function. And here you can see a new invoice will be created, right? So here you can actually scroll down, everything is fine, the item is all good. So I'm going to scroll down, and here I just want to highlight, right? You can see the number format. This is the one we were talking just now. There is few number format. Let's say I want to change, I don't want this, I want it to be this. So you can see later in the invoice, it will show this number format, all right? So when I scroll down, I'm going to attach a few attachments. So this is the attachment part, right? You can either drop it from your device folder, or you can also select it from the file manager. So for my example, let's say now I'm actually dropping a few files from my particular folder. All right, just a moment. Yeah. Okay, so let's say I'm uploading two attachment to this particular page. So once it's loading, right, you can see that it appears here, and you can make sure that you tick on share if you wish to share this to your customer. So later when you email them, they will be able to see this. But let's say I don't tick on share for this, because this attachment I want it to be for internal use only. So I don't tick. Okay, only one I want to share. So I scroll down and I'm going to save. And what happens is, I'm going to show you how the payment gateway works, because just now remember it was a manual payment because I'm not using a payment gateway, right? So now let's say now I'm going to save this one, and then I'm going to share this particular invoice to my customer. Let's say this is the email of the customer, beta marketing, right? So when I share this particular email to my customer, they will receive this invoice. Here you can see over here, I'm going to go to the main page. Okay, here you can see the new invoice I created just now, right? It shows that the email is sent. So this is known as the email tracker. Once you click on this, right, you can see the status of the email being sent out. Remember just now I clicked to share this particular invoice to my customer. So you click and then you can see it's sent. And then when you go to the email, let's say this is the email of your customer, beta marketing, right? So beta marketing able to see their inbox of their email received in their particular email address, right? So when this is received by the customer, what happens is over here you can click on view. So this is the invoice we shared just now. So your customer can click on view. So they click to view this email. And then here you can automatically see when you click this again, right? You can see the status real-time basis. It's updated as email open. So you already know that your customer received and they have opened the email. Okay, so again, coming back to here, when they open, they will receive like this, saying that you have received invoice from Bukku. So when they click to view the invoice, they will see something like this. The invoice will appear. And what happens in your Bukku is when you click on the email tracker again, it will show transaction viewed. So it's already confirmed that your customer already viewed the invoice. All right. So this is the real-time notification email tracker. Okay. So coming back to what your customer sees is they will see an invoice like this. So this is the letterhead that you updated the details in the company profile. And then this is the number. Remember the number format we were talking about. And then the payment term, due date and all. And then this is the details of your customer, which you already saved in the contacts module. And also these are the details of the item that you issued the invoice for. Okay, so this is what I need you to pay attention. So this is basically your payment gateway QR code for them to make a payment. Okay, this QR code, you can see there will be a pay option over here as well. So this appears only when you are using the payment gateway and you activated it in Bukku. Alright, otherwise you need to do the manual recording lah. But if you already activate in Bukku for the payment gateway, you're able to use this second method I'm showing you. So your customer will be able to see that this is the remarks and the signatures and all that. So here, once they feel everything is okay, they can also check on their right hand side, there is the attachment. Remember just now there is this attachment. So when they click, they will see something like this. Okay. So here, once everything is good, they can click on pay. And then this is a dummy transaction I'm showing. For example, let's say it's like their Maybank to you, their CIMB clicks and all that. So I'm going to select a bank right now here. Okay. So let's say I'm going to make the payment, me as the customer, I'm going to make the payment over here. Okay, so now they are making the payment for your particular invoice. If everything is good, they're going to click on confirm and then return to merchant side. So what happens is system will auto issue official receipt for you. So remember the first method we manual did, but then here this is auto by system. So the official receipt is issued. You can see everything is good. It's issued for what? And then the details of the payment gateway appears here. all right, for the recording purpose. So when you come back, so your customer immediately receive the official receipt. Like, they don't need to follow up with you. You don't need to manually issue or manually share. So when you come back to this page, you can see that the invoice previously was showing got balance payment, right? You can see now you receive a real-time notification a few seconds ago saying that this invoice was paid by the customer. So when you click on this, system will bring you to the payment page, which was auto issued by system. Okay, so here you can see the details of the customer. All this is actually auto recorded, and here you remember usually use payment gateway, there will be charges by them like the Stripe, iPay, PayX, all that. So you see here the charges are also auto recorded by system, so it saves your time lah. Okay, so when you come back to the invoices page, you'll be able to see the balance is now zeroized because previously it had outstanding 50 ringgit as in unpaid, right? So when you come to the invoice page, it will show as in paid fully. Okay, so this is basically the process of the payment gateway method. So you can see which method you prefer and whether you're using payment gateway or not. All right. Okay, so next, quick one, we are going to look into a purchase bill. Okay, purchase bill is basically almost similar concept with how we record a sales, but then I just want to highlight one particular part, which is the difference between the few types lah. Okay, credit purchase and cash purchase, I think it's quite similar to the sales just now. Okay, what I want to highlight is regarding the expense claim. Okay, basically expense claim is where you can actually record the claims that your staff submit to you. They submit a certain bills because they paid on behalf of the company, right? So this is where you can record. But then I'm not going to go through much on the bill. I'm going to show you another better way to record your expenses using the Digital Shoebox feature. All right, you can see this when you click on Digital Shoebox. Basically, it's a function where you can upload an image or file, and then the system will help you capture the data from the uploaded file lah. So after uploading, you can check whether everything is good, and then you can save the transaction. For example, let's say I'm going to click on upload. There are 3 ways to upload lah. Okay, so now let's say I'm going to upload via my folder, right? So I'm clicking on this, and at my end, I'm actually uploading a document. So you can see this is uploading here, right? So once it's processing, you can see that it will appear in processing first, and then within like usually few seconds it will already appear here. Okay, so when I click on the document that I uploaded, it's basically a snap of a receipt that I uploaded. So here, let's say this one is my staff send me as a claim. So what I can do is I can select this is the type of the transaction here. So let's say it's a bill, it's expense claim. So basically Digital Shoebox is like a shortcut to record. You can see all the important modules are here. So I'm going to select expense claim. I'm going to select my staff. Okay, let's say Alex Tan share me this receipt as a claim. So I'm going to, you can see here, the supplier is auto extracted by system from here. The date is auto extracted. Same goes to the reference number, the amount, and all this data is auto extracted by system. If everything is good, I can just verify. I can click on create. If you want to edit anything also, you can. Okay, so once I create, you can see that it will say that this particular bill is created and the bill is removed from here. The document is removed from here. So I can go back to my bills page now because the transaction is created from the Digital Shoebox. Here I'm going to filter by Alex Tan. And you can see that this is the bill I created just now. Okay, I can click on view, and what happens is all the data appearing here based on the data extracted by the Digital Shoebox. Okay, and the best part is here you can see the document that I upload just now is now attached as the attachment. Okay, so it's like the other way around of recording. Either you record directly inside the particular modules, or you use Digital Shoebox to upload and let the system extract the data for you. So you verify and create the transaction only. Okay, so that's for the Digital Shoebox. Next, a quick one regarding the bank module, right? Okay, here you have the bank in and bank out module. Basically, some of you might be confused what's the difference between sales module and what is money in. You assume that, okay, if you have sales, you have to record in money in. Same goes to purchase and money out. Okay, the difference is anything related to your sales income, your customer payment and all, you record in sales module. All right. Anything related to your supplier, your direct payables, or maybe your staff claim, you record it under the purchase module. And anything related to other than your money received, not related to your sales, meaning to say, let's say you receive a loan. For example, this is money out, right? I'm going to show you, let's say you receive a loan. It's not related to your sales, right? So what you can do is the contact in, money out is optional. You can remain blank if it's not read. You can scroll down. You can see here, I'm recording a loan received from bank, 50,000 received, and then received into which bank. So it's received into my Maybank. So this is about the money in. All right. Same goes to money out. So basically, you can record your direct office expenses or not anything not related to your staff claim or payables or suppliers lah. For example, let's say I'm having a stationery expense, I can record in money in perhaps, sorry, money out, or maybe I have paying my repayment of my loans, right? So here you can see, for example, I'm paying my loan every month, so it's not related to my purchase module. So it's related to my expense, other expenses. So I'm recording in money out. Okay, my monthly loan repayment, how much is the amount, and also paying from which bank account. All right, so this is the money in and money out. Next is about the bank transfers. Okay, let's say you have two banks or two bank and a cash in hand and everything, right? So bank transfer is where you record your internal transaction between your company account. Let's say I have a Maybank and RHB bank, so I'm actually recording the transfer that I made from this bank to this bank, which is both is my own company bank. All right, so this is where you can record the internal transaction lah. Okay, next is the account module under the bank. Okay, this is where the list of bank, credit card, cash, and all those things appears. And this is also where you can do your bank recon. I think those accountants, you all are quite familiar about the bank reconciliation, right? Let's say I have a public bank over here. I'm clicking on bank recon, right? Okay, here you can see the most common basic method is manual reconciliation lah. So when you click on manual reconciliation, it's like you select which statement date, which month end you want to do the recon for, what is your statement balance, and then you can just tick, manual tick on all this to match your bank statement. Okay, so this is a manual process. So as you tick, you can see that the difference and the reconcile balance will be updating. All right, this is a manual method, but I'm not going to talk about it. I have another better method, a faster method where you can use in Bukku, which is regarding the universal smart recon. For example, now the recon done is only up till August 2019, right? So now let's say I'm going to record bank recon for my September 2019. So what I can do is you can use the universal smart recon option. When you click on this, you can actually upload your bank statement. So in my end, I already upload an actual bank statement here. You can see it will load for a few seconds. So once it's already loaded, right, it will show 75% auto match, meaning to say system will help you to match what you have already recorded in the Bukku account against the bank statement that you upload. So usually you need to make sure that you have already done your recordings in Bukku system. So by monthly basis, you can do the bank recon. Okay, so for example, here you can see when you click on the mesh, right? So basically these are the bank statement lines which have already been matched to the transaction. You can see it shows match. So when you want to see it's matched to what, you can click on this edit and then it will show it's matched to which OR. Okay, it's showing that this is matched by OR. All right, so it will basically auto match for you based on the description and then the date of the recording and also the amount. So if these details are same, recorded correctly as per your bank statement, then you can see it's auto matched by the system lah. Otherwise, maybe some reasons you can see some transactions are not matched by the system. It shows under unmatched tab, which is causing the difference. So your bank statement balance is this, but then the recon balance is this. So there is a difference, right? So you can go to the unmatched tab. You can check why this is not matched. So when I click on match option, I can see that I already record this 36 ringgit. I have a few transactions here in Bukku. This is my statement line lah, up here. So my statement line shows 36,000. But then in Bukku, I have recorded it under two payment vouchers. So you can see it's two separate. So what I can do is I can click on this mini split and match icon. And then I'm going to separate it to 30,000 and to 6,000 to match the payment voucher I recorded in Bukku due to some reasons lah. So when I click on split, you can see system split and already match. All right, so it's already removed from here. It's already matched by the system over here. Okay, so next is, let's say I have these two transactions balance which is not matched. So I click on match. I'm going to check why is this not matched. So I notice, okay, in bank statement there is two lines. But in Bukku account, I recorded it together because per case, so right, maybe this is for staff A, this is for staff B, paid separately in the bank statement. But then in Bukku, I recorded as one transaction. So what I can do is I can click both of the bank statement line and then I click and merge and match. So it's going to merge this into one and then it will auto match with the transactions that I have. So once this is done, you can see it's fully balanced. So basically this is how it is done. And make sure once you have done your bank recon or once you upload your bank statement, you can click on save to save it first so that you can always come back and continue. If you don't save, then every time you come back, you need to re-upload your statement again. Okay, so once you have uploaded, you can always click on save to make sure that it's already saved. All right, so here If everything is good, make sure this is exited and then you'll be able to save. Okay, so this is for the bank module. And another thing I want to highlight a quick one before we go to the Q&A is regarding the stock module. Okay, so now let's say you are handling multiple stocks and then for some scenarios you detect a difference between your inventory balance in Bukku and the actual stock on hand. So you need to adjust it. You can adjust using the stock adjustment module. Example, right? I have an example here. Let's say I have an expired chocolate bars, right? So it's already expired, but then you never sell it, right? So there is no movement out in the system. But you need to do a manual adjustment. You can do it here. For example, the chocolate bars reason is expired and then adjusting by 10 quantity. All right. The next is stock transfer. Okay, let's say you have multiple locations like just now, and then you want to transfer from one location to another. For example, let's say I'm using this particular transfer. I have done a transfer of this particular marker pen from HQ to Johor branch. All right, so these two locations, I have two lines. Like one is from HQ to KLEC and another one is Johor to HQ. So you can see I have done the transfer over here. Okay, so this is where you can do the transfer from one location to another. All right, another one I would like to highlight is regarding the contra. Right? Basically, if you have transactions between a supplier and customer, outstanding payment, and then you want to contra with each other for some reasons, like maybe they are related party or anything, right? So what you can do is you can click on new, and then you select which customer is it and then which supplier is it. Let's say Johnson and Alexa are friends, so they told you, okay, you just contra our outstanding. So what you can do is you can click the relevant invoice and relevant purchase bill. So earlier that is 200 owing here, so you can actually just knock it off accordingly. So once you knock off, you can see that the balance will actually reduce. All right, so this is for the contra part. And next, quick one on the fixed asset. Okay, one thing about Bukku is you can actually set for the system to auto depreciate your fixed asset. So you can actually reduce your manual errors, like, because when you do your fixed asset depreciation every month or every year manually, you could have errors, right? So what you need to do is you just need to register your fixed asset here. So when you register the fixed asset accordingly, right, you can actually set how you would like to depreciate it, like which method, how much is the rate and all that. So once this is done, for example, now here I have three fixed asset, right? So you can see here now currently depreciation only until 2024 December. So I can click this depreciate option and then I select to depreciate until July, perhaps last month. All right. So once I select, it's going to show how much it's going to depreciate. You can click on depreciate. So system will post the depreciation on your behalf. If you're not sure what's happening with the figures and all, you can always click to view the fixed asset and then you click on depreciation to see the schedule of the depreciation. It's monthly posted. Okay. And all right, the last part in this particular session is regarding the reports, because no matter what you do, end of the day, the most important part is the outcome, right? So how you record your transaction, it's always important you get to view it and the reports that you generate, maybe for your accounting, taxation, or maybe for your audit purposes, right? So here we have like 50 over reports that you can explore. But then for this session, I'm going to show a sample of the profit and loss, like the most common and required report, right? So here you can see this is how a profit and loss looks, a template of how it looks. So here you can actually export via Excel or PDF as usual. And here also you're able to do a monthly comparison. Let's say maybe some of you want to do analysis, right? So you generate for 1 month. Let's say here you select for the latest month, let's say December, and then I want to compare with the past 4 periods. Okay, so I can select like this and update. So here you can see based on the date range I've select, it's going to show me December, November, October, September and August. So basically compare with the past 4 months. All right, the 4 periods. So this is how the comparison is done lah. Okay, that's all for this particular live demo. But then I would like to also highlight on a few areas regarding the other key features that we have in Bukku. So allow me a moment, yeah. I will show you the slide again. So I'm going to share the screen of my slide. Okay, I believe you're able to see my screen now. Yeah. Okay, can I check whether you're able to see my screen now of the other key features? All right, sure, thanks. Okay, so now another key features that we have is custom field. and also price level, multi-currency, tagging, and recurring instruction. So just a few details on these particular features that you can explore more on your own. But then I will just explain on how it works and the purpose of these key features lah. For example, the custom field, right? Okay, basically, let's say you are a transportation company and then you have your truck, right? Truck doing the transportation and all, and then you wish the truck number to appear on your invoice, but then you know that there's now, when we go through, there is no such field for the invoice session to show your truck number. So what you can do is you can actually set the custom field under the control panel, something like this, and you can set it to be shown in the invoice, all right, like this. So once you set up, right, you can see that it will appear on your invoice such as this one. So for example, the invoice details and also the truck number. So basically this is known as the custom field. You can set according to your requirement lah. Okay, next is regarding the price level. Basically, it allows you to customize product pricing for specific customer groups, individual customers, time periods, or maybe like minimum order quantity lah. So let your customer enjoy the special pricing, right? So this is where you can set, this is inside each of the product. So when you create a product, you can toggle on the custom pricing and you can set according to the requirement lah. Alright, next will be multi-currency. Okay, Bukku actually have multi-currency feature that lets you to set currencies in your transactions. So you no need to worry about the rate, because when you issue an invoice, you can select the currency over here and the system will auto pop out the daily exchange rate for you. So it's taken care of. But if you have your particular average rate or preferred custom exchange rate, you can key in, manual key in as well lah. So it's up to you. Alright, so the next will be tagging. Okay, tagging is basically, let's say you need a breakdown of report, you can use the tagging function lah to categorize. Usually like you have like certain projects, branch, or maybe certain salesperson and all, right? So you can set the tagging accordingly, and each time you issue an invoice or transaction, you need to assign the tagging, and it will look something like this when you generate a report. You can actually generate the profit and loss based on each of the tags. So for example, I'm generating for my Damansara branch. So this is how it looks like. All right. So next, it will look, you can also do a comparison. Let's say I have Damansara and Kajang, right? So I can select to compare between both my branches. Okay. So the final one will be the recurring instruction. Basically, if you need to create the same invoice every month for the same customer with the same details and amount, right, you can actually use this recurring instruction function lah. This way, the system actually automatically generate for you the invoice. So let's say you are doing a rental business, right? And then every month you need to issue a tenancy invoice for your tenant. So it's actually quite troublesome for you to handle, right? Let's say you have 100 units. So every month you need to manually issue 100 invoices. So what you can do is you can set the recurring instruction here and then let the system to auto issue and auto share to cut to your tenants every monthly basis or according to your settings accordingly. All right. So basically that's all for the session today. Now we are going to go to the Q&A. But before that, I just want to highlight that in case you are looking into more detail, you want like more info, right? So this is a basic user training. So you can actually reach out to our customer team, customer support team over here to request for the registration link of the advanced user training because we also are conducting advanced user training. So once you are done with this training, you can actually get the link to go through the advanced. So it will cover the other areas in detail which was not covered in this basic training. So that is why certain areas I just explain a bit, because later in the advanced training it will go in depth. All right. So now let's look into the Q&A. So I'm sharing the software screen again. I hope you can see. So now let's go to the Q&A session again. Yeah. So in case you still have any questions, you can just post down and I'm going to attend to the Q&A right now. Okay. So the first one is this one, if we link our clinic management system to Bukku, can we still view statement of account for each patient? Yeah, as long as you link and then you have a particular contact for that. So as long the invoices are being issued to each of the patient, then yes, you can refer to the statement of account for each patient as well. So depending on how the invoices are being issued through the linking that you have done. All right. So next is, if we start from September 2025 and we used manual method previously, how should we go about it? Usually we advise you to bring in the previous year latest opening balance. Meaning to say, let's say right now maybe your closing is December 2024 and until August you are using your manual, right? So you want to start using Bukku only in September. What we advise is usually bring in the previous year. So let's say December 2024, you bring in the opening balance for the previous year you key in first, and then for the data from here, this is opening balance, right? So here you bring in the August one, I'm sorry, you bring in the December 2024 one. So there is a gap between January until August, right? So that information you can actually bring in through the data migration step. So for those who are interested to know the data migration, meaning like how to migrate your data from another system or from manual to Bukku, I advise you to actually reach out to our support team, because we have a dedicated training separately for the data migration. Yes, so you can actually go through the data migration training. We are going to share to you how you can actually import your data from the manual or from the system into Bukku. All right, so that will be a manual process as well, because we always advise you to bring in the details and figures for the previous year end, so that the data here is clean. So the new year end, you can migrate the data into Bukku, as in the transactions. Okay. So next is, if we want to add the salesperson, how can we found it? I'm not sure this one you are referring to what, Jacqueline. Are you referring to the user, is it? Because I'm not sure what does it mean that how can you find it. So if you are referring to the user, you can always add the salesperson here, and you can see their name will be appearing here. All right. So next is I have sale agent with commission. How to do? As explained previously, you can use the tagging function. So let's say for example, this is the tagging, right? So here you can see I have salespersons. I've created 3 salesperson. So every time I issue an invoice, let's say an invoice is being issued here. Okay, let's say an invoice is being issued here. New, and then okay, here you can see this tagging will appear in all modules transactions. So I'm going to select this sales related to which salesperson. For example, this is like related to Ali, so I'm going to assign it to Ali lah. So at the end of the period, once everything is done, once let's say you want to calculate the monthly sales done by this particular salesperson Ali, right, you can go to your reports page. You can generate your profit and loss, and then you can select by the salesperson Ali. So what happens is, for example, it will appear something like this lah. So here you can see there is some transactions. So you can see the total sales income by this person. So you can filter the date range for 1 month. So this will show the total sales done by this person for 1 month, but you have to calculate your commission on your own, because this is not covering the commission calculation. Let's move to the accounting part. All right. Okay, next is how do we record all expenses under billing? How do we file payment voucher? I suppose we have already covered that, but then I will just go through it briefly. There are 2 types of payment voucher. One is the bill module, another one, I mean the purchase module, another one is under money out. So anything related to your supplier purchases, you record at bill. And then if it's a cash purchase, it will be your PV as well lah. Let's say you are issuing a new cash purchase because you paid on the spot, so you don't need to add the payment separately. You can just record the cash purchase over here, and this will be your receipt as well, your payment voucher. But if you are recording a credit purchase, so you need to add your payment, right? Same like the sales scenario you went through just now. So this payment that you save will be your payment voucher. But if it's related to your other expenses which is not related to your staff claim or your supplier, then you can issue the expenses in money out. So a payment voucher will be issued as well. All right. Okay, next is, so for the CMS, does the inventory be updated automatically? Yes, if you have already linked your post system with your clinic system to the system, depending on what your system covers. If it's already linking, then the inventory also should be able to automate according to the integration you have done with your clinic system. All right. So I meant can show inside the invoice that this invoice is prepared by which salesperson. This one also, as explained, I think I already covered. It's either the tagging, or if you want it to show on the invoice, then use the custom field, because these two is actually 2 different purpose. Remember just now we were talking about the tagging, Jacqueline. So tagging is if you want to assign something for the reporting purpose, you want to generate the reports by each salesperson, then you use the tagging. But if you just want to show it on the PDF invoice, then you use the custom field, the one that we briefly explained just now. For example, here you can see we have a person in charge here, right? For example, here we have a person in charge. Okay, so here you can see I've created a custom field, and then I have like few person in charge. Maybe this could be your salesperson as well. So once you save this, you can see that, let's say I turn on to show it in PDF, right, in the invoice. So here you can see when I create an invoice, it will show me the section to select the person in charge actually. So now let's say I'm selecting this particular beta marketing invoice just now. I'm going to scroll down, and bottom here we'll have the custom field that you have already set. It will appear here. So you can see I can select the person in charge here. Let's say I'm selecting Miss Lim. So when I save this, I will be able to see Miss Lim name on the PDF lah. Okay, so here you can see that I'm going to view the particular invoice, and once I view, I should be able to see the details of this particular person in charge there over here. So this is the purpose of the custom field. You can see over here under the due date, the person in charge name appears. All right. So next is yeah. Okay, next is if one sale have 3% share the commission from different branch. If it's different branch, you can select, because currently under the tagging, you cannot select the tag from same tag group. So if it's under different tagging group, then yes, you can select. Okay, I run a retail company. I have too many walk-in customers walking and purchasing item in the store. Do I need to ask for their contacts of every customer that purchased my stock, or is there easier way to record end of day sales? It depends on your requirement, Sally, whether you are complying with e-invoicing or not. Assuming you are not complying with e-invoice yet, perhaps if it's a retail company, I believe you already have your post system, right? So what you can do is, it's either if you're using StoreHub, you can StoreHub post system, then you can connect your StoreHub with Bukku accounting. But if you're using any other post system, Sally, what you can do is you can actually record your daily sales, maybe because you already have your detailed sales in your post system reports, right? You're able to get the listing, right? So what you can do is in Bukku, maybe you can just generate daily sales lah, as in a total, right? Because it doesn't make sense like to have like every single people's detail. So maybe you can just generate as cash sales, cash sales. So here you can just do daily sales details, for example, like sales for example, something like this. So you just key in the total lah. So in case you are concerned about your stock and all that, then usually post system handles the stock and all. So you need to see lah whether your post system is handling the tracking or not. Because if you do this method, it won't do any movement to your inventory. All right. So if you want to track the inventory, then you may consider whether your post system is handling it or not. Or if you want system to handle it, Bukku system to handle it, then no choice. You have to select each item by item basis. All right, for the system to be able to track your inventory. Can we share this with our auditor accountant? Siti, now I'm not sure you are referring to share what to your auditor or accountant. You mean your Bukku account login or how? All right. Okay, for Kelly, I have done few invoice notice that require to save 2 times to create the invoice. How to do quick save without showing the pop-up box, save and share box. Okay. Once you issue a new invoice, that is option, because once you issue a new invoice over here, it's not about saving it twice. Actually, once you issue a new invoice, it will bring you to a page like this, right? So you can either click on save. Once you click on save, it will still show you this particular page, so that you are still able to check if everything is okay. Then if everything is okay, you can return back to whichever module you are. But if you're going to save and create a new invoice, you can instantly click on save and new or save and back. All right, so this one you can select according to your requirement. All right, if you click only save for a new invoice, it will still save and appear on the same page. Okay, so next is if I don't add products, can I still create an invoice, or is it mandatory to add them? Actually not required. Let's say you are maybe products that you don't really sell, you don't want to track inventory, or maybe you are a service basis. What you can do is, let's say you're providing a service, you can just directly key in the description over here. So this way you can still issue your invoice, no issue. Usually it's actually selected under this if you want to like track your inventory lah, or maybe you have the same sort of services, so you don't want to manually key in, you can just save the service, so it's easier to select from drop down. So it's optional. But if you want to track your inventory for your products, then yes, definitely you have to select from the drop down. You have to save the product. Otherwise you can just key in under the description here manually. Okay, so next is okay, Siti Nawa, the Bukku account login. It's actually up to you, because by right, accounting software login is not required by auditor. Perhaps accountant, yes, they may require because they need to do your accounts, right? So what happens is you can add them as a user lah, to give them a limited user access. What you can do is you can actually invite the email, so you don't give your particular login, you just invite them a user so they have their own login, because each of this user you will be able to track the audit log So you can see each user what they have done. All right. So if you are having your accountant, what you can do is you can just add the user over here and provide them the required access. If it's auditor, it's actually depending, because I don't think they need the access to the account. Probably they just need the reports that you generate from the system. So you can discuss with the auditor according to your requirement lah, right? Okay, in CMS there are several types of payment: cash, QR payment. How is it being recorded in system? If cash, it actually goes in the bank after we bank in. Okay, for technical questions, I appreciate if you all can reach out to our support team lah, because this one we need to see the scenario as well. So it may take some time to actually explain to you in detail on how it goes, because this is going into the entries of the transaction, right? So I advise for technical one can reach out to our support team, yeah. Okay, next, Sally, for the inventory tracking, I not still. Okay, this is also Sally. It's a very technical question. I advise to reach out to our support team, because this is based on how you have recorded it. So we need to see how you have recorded it and advise according to your business nature. Okay. Next will be, how can I close the history part in my invoice? The action history performed on transaction. The action history will actually appear. It cannot be closed because it will still appear there, but depending on whether you give access to the reports to your users or not lah, because this one it won't be able to hide, because this is to track what changes have been done over the along the way. All right, next is how to issue if example deposit receive 1K from 5K, the invoice only issued after receive 1K from customer. Okay, this is also a bit technical, but maybe I can just run through a quick one, so because might be applicable for others as well. So basically you're asking if you receive 1K deposit, the invoice issued after, right? What you can do is you can record it under under payment. This is just an option. Yeah, there are several ways. So if you want to get to know other options, you can reach out to our team as well. But then a quick one, you can record under payment first, because you never issue the invoice, right? You just receive the payment. You select the customer. What you can do is you can scroll down. You can select the 1000 received. So what happens is, here when you scroll down, there is nothing here. You don't have the invoice to tick because it's not issued, right? So what you can do is you can save it as in a overpayment first. Here you can see it shows overpayment 1000. So you can just save first. Then this error will appear. You can click on OK, because you haven't applied the payment to any invoice. So once you click on OK, you can see that over here it will show that the payment is received, but then it's an overpayment. Okay, so in future, once you issue the invoice, you can see here Alex Tan, it's overpayment 1000. So as in overpayment, another word is like advance or deposit lah. So once this is safe, you can leave it as it is. So later in future, let's say you already issue the invoice, you can come back to this payment page. You can view this overpayment, and then you scroll down, you tick to the relevant invoice. Let's say this 1000 is related to the new invoice you created now, which is this invoice, like 5K. You mentioned the invoice is 5K, right? So you can see 1K is applied. So balance invoice is 4100 to be received. All right. So that's how one of the method you can record the advance lah. Okay. Next is how to record free of sample products under SO and invoice. It depends whether you want to record an invoice or not, because if you're giving sample products, it may need to see the scenario as well lah. Because if you don't need to issue an invoice and all, depends the free of sample free of charge is for what. If you don't need to issue a document, then you can maybe just do the adjustment as in a free of transfer as well lah. All right. Then please explain about the payment gateway use. I'm not sure which you are referring to payment gateway, because I believe we have already covered it as well. Yeah, just now remember, once you set up your payment gateway, we did an entire scenario of how the payment gateway works. So now let's say you have a payment gateway, you can set up here. Make sure you are using any one of this. If yes, you can set up here. So when you issue the invoice will have the QR code for your customer to make payment. All right. So that was the. Can we use our own QR pay? Yes, you can. You can upload your own QR pay, but there is certain technique for you to upload. So you need to reach out to our support team, or you can also just search over here lah. Actually, we just send you the article on how to upload your QR. Okay, you can just search the keyword over here to upload your own QR. All right, next is if I need to pay part-time employee, does it record under purchase or money out? If it's just the payout, probably you can just select under the money out lah, because it's not like payable. If it's a payable, then you need to issue a journal entry first lah. Meaning to say like your monthly salaries, right? You want to do the accrual first, to do the payroll first, and then you pay out. But then for part-time, usually like every month you just pay them, right? So for that kind of direct payment, you can just do under the money out. You don't need to use the purchase model because it's like not relevant to your staff claim or suppliers, right? So you can just record directly in money out because let's say salary for August of the part-timer, you will be paying in the August itself. So you can just do the money out lah. All right. Okay, sure, welcome. Okay, do we have any other questions? Just wait for a minute. If no, I'll end the session shortly. Yeah. Also, again, just to wrap up the session while we are waiting for any more questions. Okay. I hope that I've answered almost all of your questions. So, in case for some of you, which is a technical question, I've asked you to reach out to our team, right? So, make sure you guys reach out here, and we will actually assist according to your situation, lah, because we may need to get more data from you to understand the scenario and to explain. All right. And also for those who wish to attend maybe the e-invoice training or data migration training or advanced user training, you guys can also reach out to our team. You just ask for the registration link and we will share you the link for you to do your registration. All right. Okay, and also I have a private question asking whether can they get the recording of this session. Okay, actually this session will not be shared for the recording, but then you can actually check in the YouTube channel. We have our official Bukku accounting YouTube channel. So we have officially posted user training in the YouTube channel. So you can reach out there. It's the same content, all right? Okay, and for this, if the full-time employee will use which year? Okay, for the full-time employee, it will use the journal module. You need to issue the accrual every month basis first and then only money out. So for this also, you can actually search for our article guide on the salary. You can see recording employee's salary. So basically, this is what we will share to you if you reach out to our support team as well. So maybe Jacqueline, you can have a look into this particular article, yeah, because there is like a few steps on how to record your journal and then proceed with the money out. Okay, sure. All right. So thank you all for joining. So I hope this session was quite helpful for you all to do your basic setup and startup with Bukku. So for more data or information, you can always reach out to our support team over here. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. See you in the next training.